Hello, hello, hello. I'm gonna try this one next, and then after this one, I will try the What If Deku was, you know, trained in Mortal Kombat Part 2. So for now, let's do What If Yuji had One for All. How this story is gonna be different from our timeline? Where and when is this gonna happen? And just because I'm kind of vibing with this song a lot. Started from the beginning. It's called Stuck in a Dream by Rude. And if you didn't catch it in my last video, all the music I'm currently playing is the same artist, Rude, on Spotify. Check him out. Lit shit. As here's where our story is going to be different. That would be the emergence of Yuji in this timeline is, well, how his family is a bit different. I'm not saying the Itadori clan were sorcerers, like jujitsu sorcerers, but there was, long ago, a father who didn't want his son to die from these spirits that he had fought, but his son was born with very little cursed energy. So, he would explain to his son what these things are that he's been fighting to protect him, and, well, it's what killed his mother. A cursed spirit killed her, and in order to save you, yeah, he developed these techniques. He had heard about other people, but, they save other people. He had his son to watch out for, so he chose to stick with him, but if, there are some spirits that he sees, he'll kill them, and he knows where to go if, things are too much for him, or if he ever needs backup. This also being said, if his son were ever to want to learn more, or go to a place with other people, yeah, he could go there. Now, if you're wondering what's with the weird marking, it's the Shinto Trinity, and if you don't know the Shinto Trinity from Japanese history and mythology, then, hey, it's pretty much what we're going to be going with, what Yuji's, jujitsu techniques are, since he'll have 6 of them, since he'll be the 7th. Back to What If, as... Damn it, that's why I paused it, because I felt a burp coming and I caught it. But now, damn, that one snuck up on me. As yes, Yuji will have 6 other Jujutsu Kaisen... Not Jujutsu Kaisen, Jujutsu techniques up his sleeve that he'll have later control of. You see, if you didn't read my community post with this, it's, stipulations are simple. 1, the person who is receiving it must have little to near no energy, well, cursed energy, to receive One for All. Since it's not really a, here you go, it's just, hey, here's this power that if someone who's OP as shit gets, things could get bad. So, we're gonna make it where, in order for it to be passed on successfully, the receiver must have very little cursed spirit energy. Or none. But this doesn't mean if you have like a heavenly restriction you wouldn't be able to receive it. It's just something I thought would be decent. Like if you had an abundance of cursed energy off the bat, nah, you can't get One for All. It would not synchronize, as it would, it would be like trying to just add different forms of fire into one another. It just wouldn't really work. They would cancel each other out. This one's more or less kindling. Adding different types of wood into the flame that would be One for All. This unique amalgamation of jujitsu sorcerers, cursed energy, mixing into one. Now, here's where things are gonna be different, or like where we're supposed to be getting on with this. You see, I'm changing it where it wasn't Megami Fugishiro who went to go get the curse finger, but rather, Jujutsu Kaisen didn't get the finger yet. At least he wasn't sent in yet. This was, I would say 1 week earlier than what our canon is. So, Fushiguro is just being recently informed about what his mission is going to be, And now, like, okay, this is your time. We're gonna go get Sekuna's finger. Its ceiling is wearing off, and the warning is about to fail. So we gotta go get that shit. Well, during that 1 week when Yuji would, find Sekuna's finger, there would be this figure in the distance watching him, just like, huh. He doesn't know what's in there. Or at least I don't think he does. So when Yuji and this is what I'm making it. He's there when the cursed spirit is unlocked and tries to eat them, but because of his own physical strength being enough to actually push those creatures off, like he punches that shit away. Yeah, the users just seeing Yuji fight off these monsters just with relative ease. He's not using any jujitsu. No, he isn't. He's just that physically strong. Yes. This might be perfect. This might be the one he's been thinking of. Well then, if that's the case, then that'll be it'll be interesting, he thinks. Now, I guess this is where you could say things are gonna be different in the sense that the cursed creatures would still try and defeat Yuji, and Yuji, right before he eats, right before he gets the thought of eating Sekuna's finger, the spirits would be just dealt with as this, weird man in a cloak would just go to Yuji and saying, my, you're able to see them because it's what had recently happened. But understand this, kid. Physical strength alone is not enough to save your friends in times like this. And what you did was probably some of the most dumbest shit I've ever seen. Trying to fight cursed spirits like that. As, he's just like, cursed spirits? What is this? Well then, time skip. 1 week has passed after Yuji has been told by the old man. Here's where things get kind of weird. Of course, his classmates would ask him, okay, what happened to the finger? Yuji still has it with him. They're saying, wait, why do you have it about the cursed spirits? Yuji would then, tell them, well, something happened to him. He's lying about this part to them, but he explains in the heat of the moment, the panic at losing his friends, which he's not technically wrong. He did act on it. But what's happening is he's telling them, in a sense, because he was so afraid to lose them, he, in a sense, created a rift in his own emotional state, accessing the same energy that these creatures were after. He broke through his emotional barriers and tapped into some sort of power that's just, a power that he could use. He doesn't know what to call it. He's lying right now. But, he admits he can coat his fist with it now, and apparently that's enough to, where he can actually break them. So he can just beat them into a pulp. He's just saying, now he can hit even harder, which they're like, okay. And then the events of regular Jujutsu Kaisen would have happened. But here's where things, since Yuji does have, Sekuno's finger, when Fushiguro asks him for it, he pulls out Sekuno's finger. He's just saying, so, are you one of these Jujutsu sorcerers I've heard about? No. Fushiguro would be like, how do you know? As, he takes a stance as he's saying, easy. As he tosses him Sekuno's finger. You see, Yuji would explain, last week they were attacked by something he really couldn't explain, and, well, he was able to barely escape it, and some sort of man saved him and then disappeared. He didn't know much, but he told him, Jujutsu sorcerers would be looking for that if he wants to, ever run into him again. He would ask, what did he look like? And Yuji would say, he was wearing a robe. He couldn't see his face. This is all a lie, of course, but, it's just so, there's some sort of establishment. Nane? Huh. Excuse me. Fucking no, I'm not trying to yawn like that though. Now, this is where I guess you could say some things are gonna be slightly different. You see, Yuji in this timeline, he's already shown Megami that he has curse energy. And, well, Gojo's just like, okay. So, if you've noticed, he didn't eat Sukino's finger. Not yet. What? Well, yeah, here's where things are going to be basic. You see, for the first time in, like, the first couple weeks, you know, when they go to that cursed building exercise, when they get Nobunara, here's where things are going to be different. You see, Nobunara would look at Yuji, and, you know, she would ask him, so, you're just some rookie who uses cursed energy raw then? What surprises them all is he would stick out his hand, cupping his wrist around it, as his cursed energy would form and create what looks like to be a weird gourd? He would grab it, as then from the gourd's mouth, cursed energy spews like a blue blade. As he's saying, curse technique. Sword of Kitsunagi. Kitsunagi. No, Katsunagi. Kitsunagi? Kutsunagi. Damn you, Japanese! JoJo reference. No, it's curse you, Japanese. No, that's what it was. No, but I meant like the whole language. It's tricky for me. But that's not why I'm here. You see, here's where things are gonna be fun. Gojo's just like, huh. You know, he's already seen it. Yuji's just like, yo, this kid, he got a lot more than he leading on. Don't think I don't see it, but I'm gonna just wait and see where this goes. So, oh, fucking hell. I'm not trying to yawn, I'm just tired. You see, here's where things are going to be different in that things similar to how Itachi's sword was able to seal your soul. This sword or curse technique is able to steal curse energy, but not steal curse spirits. You know, so kind of similar to Asta's anti-magic swords or the Demon Dweller sword. You know, how when Leech used it, it could just not only stop your attack, absorb it, and then launch it back at you. In a sense, this sword is made out of cursed energy to cut and absorb cursed energy. And, yeah. The reason why it's in that gourd is because the other effect is when the gourd is full, Yuji can drink it to replenish himself or heal injuries, you know, just by splashing one of those, like, little bit. This is also slightly inspired from the three weapons from Yu Yu Hakusho. Hiei, you know, he had a sword that, you know, it cut you and made you a demon, and the, you know, antidote was in the hilt of the blade. It'd just be a little bit of this weird liquid, and Yusuke would have to give a little bit to Keiko before she became a true demon. So that's where that was coming from. So yeah, kind of weird, because it's concentrating and harnessing all the cursed energy, so it's multiplying it and then condensing it down, hence why it's a liquid. So, continuing on with the what if, as, you know, here's where things are gonna be, I guess you could say, better? I don't know if better would be the right word. You see, one thing that's gonna be different in this, when Nobara is Hunter, yeah, damn. Well then, that's strange. Thinking of the wrong things entirely. No, but Nobara, rather than her and Yuji splitting up, they actually do kind of search things together, which was surprising Yuji. He's just like, huh. Well, in this one, I'm making it where she's not necessarily too pissed off at him. Song is The Pretender by Holocene and Lauren Babick. As, like I was saying, you have... my bad. the dark. Pretend. Sorry. You in the dark. I do love this song. Now, back to the what if. As I was saying, they actually don't split up. So, mostly because Nobara wants to know more about Yuji. And Yuji, he's not being too judgmental now. Only because he got explicit answers. Not answers, but, he was told by the person who gave him One for All that when he meets a new jujitsu sorcerer, learn about their abilities and, tell them about yours. Well, the ones you want to show them at least. But don't forget, Yuji, in order to fully concept all of One for All, what you will need to do. Yep, I know, sir. And that would be either A, create a new jujitsu technique, or evolve one of the techniques. Not one of the techniques, all the techniques. So, if you yourself cannot create a jujitsu, or if you found yourself too fascinatedly drawn to pre-existing jujitsus within this One for All core, you could have enhanced it and pushed it and evolved it further. But that never really happened here. You see, they all kind of just knew, like, hey, it's going to get stronger on its own every time it's passed on. And I feel like that's when it would be perfect for someone else to hone it. When things get too overly complicated, like, okay, there's no more creativity. Okay, hone everything until it's, you think of something creative. Oh, that's kind of fucked. I know. But it is what it is. So, when the mannequin is, just casually creeping, I'll just say Yuji, he has his back turned. So Nobara's just like, can you even sense the cursed spirits? Like, Yuji's just like, yeah, I can sense the mannequin. It's just like, oh yeah, prove it. Take it down. And, Yuji's just like, bet. So, what she's thinking is that he'll summon his, spirit sword again. Or his curse sword. But, what he does is he just punches the floor. He just straight up punched the floor, breaking it where, him and the mannequin that was the, cursed spirit would fall down one level. He would jump up at the exact same time as, the cursed spirit is just like, the fuck? As it's falling, Yuji would, as I said, jump, turn towards it, and create, not a sword, but a fist. This fist radiates with this raw blue power. Nobara feels that, okay, that is one devastating punch. So, the mannequin gets hit, right in the body. You would see Yuji's fist break through its physical body. Going through on the other side, it would screech out in pain as then it would be shockwave away. Another shockwave would just cause it to be sent flying and dispersing as Yuji saying, Divergent Fist. She's just like, what the? Yuji's just like, it worked! Yes! As then he falls to his knees as he, way too much cursed energy into it. Nobara scowls him for being so reckless as, a little kid is just like, whoa! Amazed by Yuji's strength, so much so that, the cursed spirit instantly just, dips, rather than trying to take the kid hostage because it sensed Yuji's cursed power, and it's just like, I think it's just easier for me just to run away rather than try and take a hostage so I can run away. So, save my energy. Bah! He's busting through the door. Nobara's just like, damn it! Yuji's just like, I got it, don't worry. As, he's saying, go ahead, aim it at me. What? Do it! Hit me with whatever jujitsu you got. Nobara would pull out her hammer, coat it with cursed energy, and then go to swing to Yuji. As Yuji would then say, switch. as yeah, the curse technique would be swapped places with Yuji, as it would appear Nobara just would see the deformed Karibo looking creature that just jumped outside appear right before her hammer. So she follows through with more power now, realizing okay, he wasn't lying. So boom, the creature gets its head smashed and caved in by the hammer, and Yuji he would fall and crash into a dumpster outside because he forgot that the creature jumped outside and not in the building. So yeah, Gojo is just like that technique. Nah, nah. But hmm. So, he's gonna be talking to Yuji, but Nobara's asking, "What the hell was that?" Yuji's just like, "I I switched places." Yeah, but how? Gojo would telling them, "Hey, hey, hey, now, don't worry about it. He's on our side after all." But Nobara's not gonna be too thrilled about the fact that hey, I want to know what your power is. I thought you just had the sword. So, come on, spill the beans. What else you got? Yuji would be like, oh, no, 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 don't worry about it. I don't like that answer. But, here's where things become kind of good for Yuji. This is where Fushiguro would say, it doesn't really matter his abilities. The reason why he can be trusted is that, he gave them the second finger, and he was able to hold his own when spirits came for the finger itself. She would look at Yuji, my bad, in awe, saying like, "Wait, you mean you were guarding one of his corpsey fingers?" Is Yuji saying, "Yeah, and what about it? How are you not disgusted by touching by it?" I go like, he's just saying, "Eh." I mean, my main technique is to punch things really hard, so, hey, Divergent Fist. This is when Gojo would pull aside Yuji, of course, after, he tells Nobara and Fushiguro to decide on where to eat. Yuji would say steak, the other one would say sushi, as Fushiguro would not say anything, but, he's saying, alright, then you two find a restaurant, I'll pay. Yuji, come here. Yuji, Gojo, looking at each other as Gojo would remove his blindfold, opening his 6 eyes as he looks directly at Yuji in the eyes, staring deep into this man's soul as he's surprised. He asks him, how? How is it possible for him to have 7 jujitsus? Yuji's just like, how do you... Gojo would explain to him the Rokushiki, the Limitless, his abilities from the Satoru Gojo clan, and he can see cursed people's techniques without even needing them to explain it or show them to him, so he knows what to do. But for Yuji to have 7 of them, that ain't normal. There we go. I was just fixing up something. There we go. Much better. Softer. Sorry, I tried to yawn either, but it happened. Fucking hell. I hate mucus. Anyway, back to the what if. As I was saying, Yuji... what surprises, I guess you could say, Gojo was the fact that Yuji kind of didn't hide it afterwards. I mean, his secret's out, might as well just spill everything. He tells him, well, what really happened with the finger, right before he ate it, this one old man came, saved his ass, gave him this because he had very little cursed energy when he developed it and he wanted to protect his friends. The horrible idea of letting them die because of this, no, he did not want that. So, what'd he do? He channeled all of his feelings into his fist, It launched it at the spirits, and it worked. It would hurt them and cause them to go flying away from him. But, it wouldn't be enough. So the old man stepped in and saved him. Old man was just like, you know what? You fit my categories. Here's this jujitsu. He explains to Gojo how One for All can only be passed on to him because he had very little cursed energy since he had just awoken it. But his physical strength already was just... Hey. That's fucking broken. Yeah. Oh, my bad. He would explain that his jujitsus at the moment are 4. His own Divergent Fist, the Sword of Kitsunagi, which lets him cut and steal cursed energy from cursed spirits and just people in general. The other one is one that requires him to do a stance very similar to the simple domain stance. He'd have to widen his legs. He would clap his hands and then make a red mirror, which, the mirror would suck up every single type of cursed energy attack launched at him, absorb it into itself, and then reflect it right back. The Yagama mirror. The other curse technique of his. Yagama shield mirror. There we go. Much better. Like I was saying, he would have his sword and his shield, but he would have to, do the whole clap, hand gesture, stance, and then here's the thing. The attack and power behind the cursed energy, there'll still be force behind it. So he'll be hit with the force, and he'll have to take the recoil. But most of it should all go into the Yagama mirror with no sweat. Fucking hell. Now, back to the Lord of Az, like I was saying. In this one, well, he never needed to eat sick on his fingers, so he didn't need to be the vessel yet. Here's where things are going to be different. You see, the other jujitsu that he had gained was the one that he saw. One that lets him pretty much manipulate how curse energy is flowing throughout the whole building. What do you mean? Well, if it's within a certain range, things with curse energy could be swapped around relatively easy. He would just have to think really hard. He'd have to find it and then switch places with it. Think of Sasuke's ability to switch 2 things with his Rinnegan. Or, if you're a 7 Deadly Sins fan, think of Monspeet's Trickstar. Which, here's one thing I'm going to add to Yuji's Divergent Fist. Not only does he have a, second impact, he had made a unique self vow. There we go. And that would be, the combo delayed hits would be even more delayed, but the power will be stockpiled the more combo hits he gets. So, what I mean is, if Yuji is unlaunching an Ora rush, and he lands about 25 hits, there is no second impact after each initial hit, but the moment the last hit is launched and Yuji cannot land another one, all the delayed hits that have yet to make an impact would then hit suddenly, just crashing into the body. That's what I mean when I say now he can stockpile and store the damages even more now. But he'd have to get it into a combo rush first. I'm tired. And that's one of Yuji's other abilities. Now the other 3 I probably won't be using at the moment because, well, This is almost at 30 minutes, and well, probably going for another 15 or so. So let's just continue on. You see, the next arc would be that fateful cursed fetus arc. You see, things here are going to be very different. It is Nobara who would get blasted by that, special grade. She would have, been walking towards Yuji and Fushiguro to tell them to stop when the cursed spirit would have showed up with an cursed energy blast right at Nobara's stomach, blasting a hole through her body, sending her crashing into this, building. Yuji, just sudden rage mode, just already trying to rush and fight this cursed spirit. And, well, yeah, no, special grade cursed spirit is just too strong for Yuji. He does not have what it takes. He would have to use his Totsuka mirror, not Totsuka mirror, but the Yagama mirror every time the creature would launch cursed energy attacks. Sure, he would reflect it right back, but excuse me. Excuse me again. Like I was saying. But he would have to take his stance every single time, which he won't always have to do. And the monster noticed that he doesn't have time to always get in his stance. So Yuji also has to deal with the fact that, okay, he's switching from one technique to another. Oh shit, this is draining my power a lot faster. I'm not used to this. Fuck. So yeah, Fushiguro, while he's taking Nobunara while she's still conscious and still alive, still within reasons of her living, they're just like, fuck. So he's having his black dogs take down those weird baby heads. He's got Gamma and Nu working together. Gamma has Nobunara in her stomach, but something happens. This something is that special grade cursed spirit blasting Yuji back towards Fushiguro and Nobunara. The three are down, and when something, Yuji has that Fushiguro was surprised at, Fushiguro, he was kind of tired too. He's not too skilled at it, and doing it is kind of what's costing him a lot of his cursed energy. But he was mostly using his Shinigami to treat Nobunara as best as the abilities that they can. So, by eating his cursed energy, like consuming it at a much more alarming rate, like 5 times the toll as normal, so he is getting drained very rapidly. He's healing her. Well, Nu and Gamma is. The Hound Dogs are more or less protecting and fighting. But Yuji had something in his hand that the special grade spirit was trying to get back, because its cursed spirit energy just dropped. Its cursed energy, I don't know why I said cursed spirit energy. My bad. As its cursed energy dropped significantly, it seems to be no more than grade 2 now. Yuji has one of Sekuna's fingers. Yuji's just panting as he's thinking, sorry, it looks like you wanted this, right? Yuji's just like, my bad. He's just saying, too bad, you're not getting it. As Yuji, he feels himself close to collapsing, and he needs more energy. He looks at the finger, and he's just like, I got this. I am Yuji Tidora, and I will not succumb to his will. As he pops the finger and eats it, special grade gets dismantled and cleaved up by Sekuna. And, well, here's the thing. When Sekuna was about to try and fight Fushiguro, Yuji instantly takes back control and tells him, yeah, you're not going anywhere. I'm in control. Forcing Sekuna down. And, well, Fushiguro, he's already kind of tired, so he would pass out Nobara, she's passed out. Yuji, he's tired too, so he also falls unconscious. The three, stay there. Gojo would recover them. The woman, she would have her son's upper half of the body and the name to bury. So, yeah. Here's where things become very different. As you know, Yuji would be sentenced to death for eating Sekuna's finger, but in the Mindscape, Yuji and Sekuna have been fighting for about 20 hours. Only because, well, Sekuna's interested in Yuji's one-for-all ability. One person to, cleanse all of dark spirits, all cursed energy. That's entertaining. So, what do you got, kid? He would show him the Divergent Fist, the Tosca Blade, not the Tosca Blade, the Sword of Kitsunage, my bad, the Yagama Mirror, and then the whole switching places with Cursed Energy, which didn't really work here since they're the only two there, but empty space is still space for him to switch out, so yeah, very useful. He would look at Yuji and tell him, okay, so I'm pretty sure you're understanding what your power is, right? A binding vowel? Yeah. Well, how about we make one, kid? Nah? Well, yeah, but no, yes, no. Their fighting would continue on like that for a while. Sekuna would still win, but Yuji has the power to suppress him. That's what's bothering Sekuna. So, he tells him, you're gonna be killed after this. I'm fine with that. What do you mean you're gonna be fine with that? He explains he became a jujitsu sorcerer to help people. He knows the danger that Sekuna's fingers are gonna be, so if he's gonna die, he's fine with it. So, yeah, he would leave the Mindscape, open his eyes to see Gojo, and then, pretty much like in canon, the whole Yuji becoming Sekuna's vessel, eating as many fingers as possible, and then him dying. But here's where things are gonna get drastically different. Yuji explains how, he won't need to rely on Sekuna's power because of One For All, but he realizes two things. Sekuna's, fragmented soul that's in Yuji now, it's reacting to One For All. Like one, sometimes I do, 'cause I hate the sun. Light. This is Falling in Reverse, I'm Not a Vampire. This is an old ass song. Damn, my emo days. Anyway, back to the what if I was saying. Yeah, no, Yuji explains that he can feel Sekuna, and he wanted to do a binding vow. He tells Gojo everything. He's not gonna lie to Gojo Sensei. Well, Gojo's just like, okay. Huh. We kinda want him dead. I know. So, feed me the fingers and then kill me? Pretty much. But, Gojo's just like, your One For All abilities, I can see what they are, so if Sekuna takes over your body, is he gonna have those powers? Yuji's just like, he shouldn't be able to, but I don't know. Sekuna would create a mouth and saying, nope, not possible. What? Similar to how Sekuna has his own jujitsu, this is Yuji's. They might share the same body, but it'd be like tagging in and out. He would use I guess you could say, when you have the same character in a video game, but you have a different version of him, this different version has different moves and a different outfit, right? Well, think of it like that. Yuji is now a dual character person in a, fucked up video game called Life. And, though he can't use Sekuna's jujitsu, it's the same for Yuji. He cannot use Sekuna's jujitsu. He might get a boost from the fact that he eats a cursed finger every now and then, but understand this, kid. You only get a third of the power boost that Sekuna does. So, while you do get stronger, your power One For All, It ain't getting my jujitsu. Yuji saying, good. When I die, and One For All gets passed on, there's no worry about you coming back. Sekuna's pissed about it, but yeah, he realizes Yuji's right, but, he tells him, just watch, kid, just watch. So yeah, Yuji and Sekuna would make a bonding contract where Sekuna would, he would kill cursed spirits, regain his power, and then how it is that from there, Yuji and him would fight for dominance in his battle and body, and if Yuji loses, Sekuna, he's pretty much gonna have Yuji's body at the end of the 20 fingers, he thinks, no matter what. So, yeah, the binding vow is simple. When Sekuna's fingers are close and Yuji eats one, Sekuna gets power, but Yuji also gets 33% of it, himself getting stronger, so their ultimate showdown between who will live and who will die. So if in the final battle that Yuji, he beats Sekuna with all 20 fingers, they both die peacefully. But if Sekuna would win, Yuji's soul would be consumed into Sekuna, and, well, by that time, One For All Jujitsu would no longer be fully within him, and it'd just be slight residue from the Jujitsu itself. So, yeah. Don't get me wrong, it's not going to be like, oh, it's completely gone. No, you're trying to empty an ocean and then think there's, not going to be any water left. Which, I mean, you can try, but that's going to be very fucking difficult. But no, think of it like this. The main concept of One For All in this one, as it's passed on, it'll grow even stronger. And the person just has to have, little to none. It'd just be training and training and training. Getting control of your jujitsu. And, well, yeah, that happens. But for Yuji, it's different. You see, he now is fated to fight Sekuna, the king of curses. And if he loses, this world is fucked. Gojo would say, hey, even if you lose, kid, I'm right here to fuck him up. Bit. Okay, that makes it less harder for me, but I agree to your contract, Sekuna, so yes. During this time when Sekuna is fighting for his cursed fingers, until he has all 20, he can't kill humans, so cursed spirits only. But there is something very special that's going to be happening. You see, the two will be watching each other and their curse techniques. So, yeah. That's going to come into play later. But things kind of changed now. You see, because of this, Yuji, shit, he's not in danger anymore. So, during the, Kyoto and Tokyo sister exchange event that's going to be coming in 2 months, which I'll cover that in the next part, because the Shinbiku incident, there's so much to cover. I'll cover the Junpei incident here. Oh, Yuji meeting Junpei. You see, here's where things are going to be different. Because Yuji is actually given the assignment to go, investigate this kid, opposed to Fushiguro and Nobunara coming with him, which he wondered why not them too, as he's saying, nah, they're going to be training, this is what's going to be coming up, Yuji, so, hey, careful. He would be given the other finger, the other 2 fingers, and Sekuna, he's 3 fingers in, and Yuji himself has gained an insane amount of cursed energy, which, I mean, Fushiguro and Nobunara are just like, yo, I can't believe you're doing this. Hey, one way or another, I'm gonna die, so I'm gonna take Sekuna with me. Which, yeah, kinda made them sad. But they don't know about One For All. They just know Yuji has an array of techniques to try and take down Sekuna, and they're thinking, oh, maybe this is what Yuji was made for. Which Yuji is just like, I mean, kind of fucked up way of looking at it, but sure, why not? I was not made to die with Sekuna, but let's go. As here's where things become interesting. You see, Junpei would have done the things as normal with his life, with the movie theater, and Mahito breaking all those students' faces and teaching him how to use jujitsu a little bit with the poison manipulation. Well, the fat teacher, when Junpei was about to kill him, he would have something very, very unique. And that would be Yuji coming up. He would casually just talk to Junpei and saying, hey, what's up, buddy? Like, it's been forever. Doing it like it's been like that lost friend who's not shown up in years. He plays it off saying, hey, yeah, I'm sorry I never got to tell you this, but I just wanted to surprise you. I know it's been a few years since we've seen each other, as, he wrapped his arm around Junpei and saying, come on, cuz, it's been forever. Let's go see my aunt. Junpei's just like, what the? As the teacher's just like, oh, I'm so sorry. I did not know your family would be. I didn't know you had family or friends here. Junpei, I apologize. Continue on. Blah, 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 blah. He doesn't get pants, but, as he's walking away, Yuji, he looks at him, and then looks at Junpei, and tells him, so, I kind of know that you don't like him, but do you mind telling me why? And then, boom, they become friends like normal. They would have their character development. Junpei telling him about everything that has happened and how he feels, indifferent to humans. He knows that they're terrible human beings, and he doesn't hate them until they do something wrong to him. But Yuji, like normal, would tell him how fucked up this is and how that's not really a good thing to be like. How he should be, more happy and more grateful for things. Of course, this is where one thing in particular I will change, and that is Junpei's mom and Yuji hitting it off a lot, smoother. See, she actually invites him to stay the night, and so he does. So, in the living room, you would have where Yuji and Junpei are just passed out with the movie, just movie screen just constantly playing back and forth. Movie's over, but it's the title screen, push play to start the movie. The mother would wake up, she would see Junpei, and oh yeah, Yuji, he yawns as he gets up. He casually just walks to the not to the bathroom, but to the kitchen, and he would get himself a cup of water, drink, put it down, sigh, as, Junpei's mom, she gets up, she's a little bit hungover, just a little bit, she grabs her head, Yuji would walk her to her room, give her some medicine for her hangover. She would tell him how it did her heart good to see Junpei, laughing, having a friend. Yuji would then look at her very seriously and say, so, if I were to tell you that I wanted to take Junpei away where I could, put him in a better school, would you object? Junpei's mom looks at him like, what do you mean? Junpei and me are very similar. He's troubled. And it's not because of his friend's death. Because they weren't. They weren't his friends. They were people who picked on him, made his life hell. And it caused some deep emotions within him that, if left unchecked, could be really bad for his mental health. And, well, I was put in a dark place when my friends were put in danger and I had lost my grandpa. The school came and they helped me. And, well, it would be a shame if something happened to Junpei. I know we can get him the help for what had happened. His mom looks kind of sad because she knows what he's talking about. She knows that her son was bullied and his life was hell, and she really couldn't do much about it. So she does one thing, and, Yuji was surprised. She would grab onto him and beg him, please, protect Junpei. Please save him. Make sure that, her baby is safe. As she then pulls in Yuji for a kiss. Yuji's just like, the fuck? She pulls away. She's just like, I'm sorry. It's the alcohol. It's just, Yuji's just like, ah, shit. It you know, don't worry about it. Just lay down. Um, we'll be fine. It'll be okay. Just rest. I'm gonna go back to the living room. Junpei's mom was just like quiet the rest of the night, but yeah. The very next morning, Junpei would wake up and Yuji, he's kind of on the couch. His mom is making breakfast as she tells Junpei that, maybe it's best if, he goes to a different school. The school that he's at now, it's just, it just don't feel right. It just feels too bitter for, when she thinks about it and all the things that have happened, maybe a school where her new friend, not her new friend, his new friend goes to. Junpei would be looking at his mom saying, Mom? What do you mean? Well, I want you to be happy, sweetie. So, I want you to go with Itadori-kun. Go to his school, make friends, sweetie. I know that I wasn't the best mother for you and I wasn't always there, but please, I know you can do great things. She gives him a warm smile as, breakfast is made. Yuji wakes up to the smell of bacon and he's just like, ooh, bacon. And yeah, I'm gonna end it here because, well, Yuji would have to leave, tell everyone about how his thing is going. Junpei and his mom would go into the process of, getting Junpei out of that school. Junpei also has to think about jujitsu sorcerers and mojito and all this other stuff, as he's kind of excited. He's not gonna lie. And in the next part, I will, hopefully get more into other stuff. But until then, I'm the Vibe Kage. Have a good one.